She's gonna be a runner, I think. Well, guys, Caitlin really jacked up the truck now. That was dumb. That was dumb.
Hey!
We're gonna see if this thing will run or if it's going to the scrapyard for junk. I don't know what we're gonna do with it.
Is that what is that?
It's like a shell of a cicada. Because I had a honey-do list that was longer than a night in county jail.
I'm guessing I turn this off now.
Hey, welcome back to Crossthread Garage and Salvage. Caitlin and I this week have been set back by the rain, which has happened every day except for today. So we haven't got much done on the C10 because we can't be sanding it outside in the rain. But, you know, first day of sunshine, we decided to do the right thing and not work on the C10. Instead, we're going to see if we can get the old flathead running. That's right, the flathead in the 41 Ford that Caitlin bought a couple of years ago, we're just now working on. It's been sitting here just staring at us, hasn't it, Caitlin?
Literally.
Just staring at us.
A bird started to build its nest in here.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago.
Too long. So what we're going to do is go ahead and see if we can get this thing started. Caitlin, first thing we're going to do is pull all the spark plugs out. So let's get the hood up, get our good hood prop out.
Where's the rake?
We got a rake in there. That's not going anywhere. So go grab the tool cart, Caitlin. Start pulling these spark plugs. And if you saw our episode a few weeks ago, you know that this motor right now is locked up tighter than Mitch McConnell during his last press conference. Which is to say, it's not spinning at all. So, first thing we're going to do is loosen it up, and we're going to use basically, yeah, we got wasps everywhere. We've been killing yellow jacket nests like they're going out of style. We're almost done.
Watch out!
I got the adrenaline pumping. Gonna be using some PB Blaster along with some other things. PB Blaster is kind of like the potato of garage solvents.
You're a potato.
Well, I'm not a potato. I have a potato-like shape, but I don't know why you have to hurt me like that.
All right then. Well, darn it, it's good enough for me. Wood is.
But it's like the potato of garage solvents because it's good for everything. Like, if you just want to relax, it's potato chips on the couch. If you got a holiday dinner, it's mashed potatoes. If you got fancy dinner, it's baked potatoes. If you're grilling outside, it's roasted potatoes. There's a potato for every occasion, and PB Blaster for every situation in the garage. So
that's a good analogy.
I know, I'm full of them. So while Caitlin is grabbing these spark plugs out of here, I'm going to walk you guys through what we've got here. This is really an interesting setup because if you saw our last video on this 41 Ford, you recognize this thing ran when it was parked in 1975, parked behind the barn in southern Colorado. Nice dry climate. We're going to check to see if there's any water in the oil.
I think there is, right?
It probably is. But it wouldn't be from rain because we never got any rain out there. It'd be from condensation, just heating and cooling, condensing. What's it look like?
It's pretty much like the C10s.
Well, oh, but good. It's not rusty.
Yeah. Well, nothing's rusty.
That's a good sign. All right. Well, a lot of times when these things are locked up, it's because there's rust in the cylinder, and with an old flathead, there's probably going to be a stuck valve somewhere. It's going to be rusted open. So we got a lot going on here we need to deal with. But if you know anything about flathead V8s, and I don't, this is the first one we've ever owned, you know that this is not the motor that would have come with this truck.
Can you help me?
God gave you 10 fingers. Use them to get it out of there. I don't know what to tell you. But this isn't the motor that would have come with this truck. This is a 8BA. This would be like a last series or last generation of flatheads. This truck's a 41. This motor would not have come out until like 48 or 49, I think. Somebody can help me out with that. Let us know in the comments below. Yes, I see that hand.
What do I do with this plug? Do I just take this off?
Yeah, you just gotta pop that off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye. Thanks.
Oh. It also has an auxiliary oil filter, which would not have been factory equipped in 41. So we'll pull that off and see what that oil filter looks like. I'm pretty interested to see what a oil filter the size of a toilet paper roll looks like.
Oh, it smells like carrot juice.
It smells like carrot juice? That would be interesting. Wonder if that would make it vegetable oil. Probably not. Okay, there is some oil in here.
What is that?
Oh, cool. It's an old AC brand filter. Being a later 8BA, I think it's a 24 stud or 24 bolt, whatever they call it. But it's referring to the number of bolts in the head. This starter relay. Oh yeah, starter relay's got a button underneath it. You can actually start them from inside under the hood here. There's a button underneath, so instead of having to get in, if we can get power to this thing and this relay actually will work, we can get that thing powered. Probably not off that battery. That's a 6-volt battery, so we're gonna size it up and throw 12 volts in this thing here in a little bit, but
Dad.
only after Caitlin gets spark plugs out. Are you still working on the spark plugs?
These two ones are loose. This one is not. Also, these fenders are too big.
I feel like we did this once before.
Yeah, and you did it.
Oh hey, I painted the garage too. You guys have been seeing that?
Mom.
Yeah, I didn't realize Mom was in the picture. Coming over here to the cat cage. We got barn cats that we're trying to acclimate to barn life here with the goats. So this is our
Show the world our life, why don't you?
It's a cat dominium. That was dumb. That was dumb. Is it gonna rain, Caitlin? Of course it is.
Yeah, of course.
Northern Ohio. Go get the breaker bar. Hey.
What?
Go get the breaker bar so we can break that loose and get those all out. So for those who don't know, this 41 is a CCC truck. Not that breaker bar. Fence post down. Yeah, that one. This is a CCC truck. It was built for the Civilian Conservation Corps following the Great Depression. It was built right before the war in July of 41. And so we have the VIN number stamped on the data plate here, which matches our title for the vehicle. And so she's set up with a PTO and a big dump bed. And well, none of that matters because what we're doing is up here today. So back to what we're dealing with here. That one might be interesting to try and get out of there. Not much room. What does that say mercury? It does.
Yeah?
Well, that is really interesting. I knew this wasn't an original motor, but I did not know that this had a mercury head. Huh.
It's gone.
Super active 6-volt battery. The thing's so powerful it can't even be contained. The case is split. She's gonna be a runner, I think. Quite honestly, I mean, I'd say it ran when parked, but genuinely it ran when it was parked, 1975, and this is how it sits. Alright, Caitlin is getting these factory mounts undone. GoPro died on me, and I was showing you guys this Stromberg here, and obviously we got it all sprayed down already, but we got this manual choke from the dash locked up, and butterfly choke's not moving there, but this isn't moving at all, which is going to be a problem for us eventually. I'm going to have to pull that off of there. So we got everything sprayed out with PP Blaster, And looks like this is done draining on that side, so we'll get the other hose off. And we'll get this battery out of here. Caitlin, you want to come over here and
Yes.
get this battery disconnected?
I'm just rounding it off. It's not coming off.
I'm tightening it now, so I don't tighten it. And if you don't want to round it off, you get one that fits the right size.
That is.
It's too loose.
I put it on the 12 and there's two.
Well, don't use metric when it's a standard.
It's science.
Well, guys, as per our usual arrangement here in Ohio, it looks like it's about to rain. So, picked a great day to work outside. On a lighter note, oh, that's not a lighter note, that's heavy. Radiator's ready to come out, I think. Nope. She's locked in here on wooden mounts. Did not see that coming. Good landing. Giving it an 8. A lot better landing than the can of Marble Mystery Oil I dropped. Well, we were going to put Marble Mystery Oil in the 41, but I decided I needed to lubricate the shop floor here instead. So I've gone ahead and done that. Used $10 worth of paper towels. Awesome. All right, what's it look like?
Stepping in.
Oh, baby. That's awesome. Stepping in antifreeze. All right.
That is so green.
I know. So since we don't have that, Caitlin, take the PB Blaster and fill up those cylinders with PB Blaster. Can anybody explain to me why Marble Mystery Oil smells so good? It smells delicious, but I know it's not edible.
Mystery.
You guys can see we're going through quite a bit of PB Blaster here, and you can help support the channel by going to CrossthreadGarageandSalvage.com and getting yourself some merchandise. Every dollar from those sales, hey, spray it in the cylinder, not out in the driveway. Every dollar from the sales of our merchandise goes directly to Caitlin, so you know, I'm not over here making a buck off of the brand merchandise. Caitlin's getting it all, and it's all eventually going to get put into her project. So help Caitlin out. Go to CrossthreadGarageandSalvage.com. Link is on the screen below and in the description below. You got it held on top?
No.
Well, put a wrench on it. What are you waiting on?
I didn't have to turn anything, right? Oh.
Okay.
Wait. Okay.
Like that. All right, guys.
It's not on the radiator yet.
This bolt is,
Yes, it is.
I'm sure, original. I don't think this has ever been out of here. It at least hasn't been off of here in 48 years. It's been sitting outside the whole time, and I'm about to show you why I love vehicles from the Southwest, because this thing has no rust on it. I didn't even put any penetrant on there. Nothing. That thing just came right off. 80 years after it was put on there. Unbelievable. Yep. Feels like it's still got a little water in it. You want to help me here, Caitlin? Come over here. Look at all the room we've got for activities now. Well, guys, Caitlin really jacked up the truck now. You know the Steve that I work with?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you know how he's bald, right? Okay, so I'm traveling with him, and he pulls out a comb, and I'm like, Steve, you're bald. Why do you have a comb? He looked at me and he goes, I don't know. I got this comb and I just can't part with it. You think Steve will appreciate that?
Yeah.
That's a dad joke with a setup, everybody. All right, kiddo, we're gonna see if we got any water in the bottom of this pan. So the way we're gonna do that is we're gonna pull this drain plug and just ease it out. We're not gonna take it all the way out because we don't want all the oil to drain. But if there's water in there, it should drain first because it'll be on the bottom, right? Because the oil floats on water. So if there's water in this pan, it's gonna be in the bottom.
What is it?
See, you just ease it out until it feels a little crunchy. There might be some water sitting against there. Oh, baby. That's straight oil. Look at that. Awesome. There's not any water in this motor.
Awesome sauce.
Which really makes me wonder why it's locked up. The spark plugs came out without any trouble. No rust on the spark plugs. There's no visible rust on the block when we look down through the spark plug hole, and there's no water in the oil pan. So what has got this thing locked up? Huh, indeed.
Perplexing.
Curiouser and curiouser. So one side of that radiator, the driver's side, had a bunch of junk in it. I want to go ahead and eliminate the possibility that this water pump might be seized up, and that's what's holding up the motor from turning. So we're just going to go ahead and remove the belts, so we're only dealing with the crank. So if we can get it to spin over, then we can go ahead and jump into the electrical and the fuel system, but we're not going to do that until we know it's spinning over. So
Do you have two of these in the book?
no. There you go.
Oh wait.
Cut this one.
It's all the same belt.
No, it's not. There's two different belts there.
I don't.
Cut that other belt.
Oh, sorry.
Six and a half hours later.
You gonna show it to his boss, or what are you gonna do?
I think you're boss.
I don't know.
I loosened it.
Yeah, definitely loosened it. All right, I don't know what you guys are paying for your radiator fans. This one cost somebody $5. That's neat.
It's really neat.
That's pretty neat.
All right, we've got the big breaker on it now. Let's see if it spins over. I feel like I'm only. I feel like I'm just tightening the bolt. It didn't actually move. Oh no, it's spin. Oh yeah. So, do you realize what's happening here, Caitlin?
No.
So that crank is spinning, that's the main crank that lifts the pistons up and down in the cylinders, which means, or the pistons are moving freely in the cylinders, which is great.
What?
Oh, that's still too tight. I need my bigger bar. Or my stronger back. Since my stronger back has been out on vacation since 2012, I don't think I'm going to be doing that.
You think you're so funny.
I am hilarious. Tight spot there. Okay, so it's not moving now. So that seems to have tightened up. Spin backwards. So what we're going to do is isolate the electrical system here, because we don't want to plug in a 12-volt battery and start frying instruments and everything else in the system. So we're just going to isolate the 12-volt to this relay, and well, we're probably just going to run a new wire to our coil here, because this one's totally chewed up and it'll ground out who knows how many places before it gets here. So we need to figure out if the starter will run. If the starter won't run, guys, we're probably out of luck on this one, because I'm at this point in the project, I'm not going to put money into a starter. We're not even done with the C10. We're literally weeks or months away from really being invested in this motor. So we're doing what we can right now just to put content out for you guys and really find out
we're doing something.
Find out what we're working with. So let's get 12 volts to the starter and see if it turns over.
What's in there?
Battery stuff. Alright, so we found out earlier this has got a Mercury head on this side, and I was wondering if it was a Mercury motor and maybe had a Ford head on this side, but everything else in here says Ford. The thermostat housings both have Ford printed on them. Carburetor says Ford on the side. Find out when we tear it apart whether this was 100 horse or 110 horse. If it was a Mercury, it'd be 110 horse. So that'd be awesome. But I guess if it's got one Mercury head and one Ford head and we split the difference, it's 105 horse. Okay, new plan. Be easier to work in there if we're just using cables. So we're going to put the battery on the ground. Don't drag it over the fender. I want to scratch the paint.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That's all pretty crusty. Just cut this one, that one, that one. I don't know what that one ran to, but it's a newer wire. It's running something inside the cab. And these two. One at a time. Well, guess there's nothing to do but try. I'm going to connect this battery. You listen, see if you hear anything sparking or buzzing or see anything smoking, okay?
Did you connect it?
Yeah. Okay, well, there shouldn't be a connection actually until we hit the button on that relay. So let me hit that.
Hey!
Woo! Ready?
Yeah.
It's hitting, but it's stopping.
It's spun, not spin.
It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon in northern Ohio. That means it's time to rain. But if you're like me, you're probably working long hours and overtime pay, watching it all get taxed away by those rich men north of Richmond. And we want to help you out this Labor Day weekend, give you a little break. So RNR15 is going to be the discount code at CrossthreadGarageandSalvage.com. Get you 15% off your purchase of a hat or a shirt or stickers, whatever it is you want from the merch store. Until Labor Day, 15% off with RNR15 on the Crossthread Garage and Salvage website. Well, Caitlin, all the big time YouTubers out there say that all you need to make an engine fire is spark, compression, and fuel. And we don't know if this has compression. We can't get the carburetor to move. And we haven't tested the spark yet. But there is one thing I think we need to add to that list, and that is a starter. You need a starter to make a motor start. And for some reason our starter didn't want to seem to turn this motor over. So let's test the starter. So we're going to go directly to the stud on the starter here. And then actually, if this bumps over, take that out just in case it goes. Take that wrench off. Yep. Thinking our starter's not doing starter things. That old battery is not marked as to which side was positive and negative. Wonder if this has a positive ground. Well, that got something. gonna go ahead and pull this starter out of here, but just noticing that there's no bolts holding it in to the bell housing here. There's a collar here that's tight, and there's a bracket on that nut on the top there that holds it to the, it's connected to the oil pan, so should just have to remove that and then loosen this and slide it out. Okay, update. Actually, the starter bolts that are on the back, where are they? Here and here, are actually what holds the starter together and holds it in to the bell housing. So Caitlin is pulling the cable up at the solenoid so that we don't have to try and fish around the top side and get this cable loosened here. So we're just going to pull the starter and the cable down through with it. Got the starter out of the truck, and I don't know, I think in 41 it was a positive ground system. And with a normal electric motor, if you reverse the polarity, it changes the direction that the motor's going to spin. So we're going to just test and see if the motor actually spins properly, first and foremost. Then we're going to test and see if we can reverse the polarity and it changes the direction of this motor. So we're going to go negative ground to the contact surface here with the block, and positive back here. Holy smokes. That thing is rocking. It would seem like that would have enough power to spin that motor over if it was free. That is spinning this direction. Let's see if this changes the direction. It's the same direction.
Oh dear.
Almost lost the camera there, huh? Alright. I'm gonna say the way that thing spins, it's got enough oomph that it should be going.
Ooh.
I'm going to test our coil here just by ohming it out. But we gotta disconnect these wires so we don't have any added resistance. Ohm testing means we're testing to see if there's any resistance. Basically what it'll tell us is if the coil is functional without having to actually turn it on and get it started and checking for spark. So we're gonna go, go to the ohm settings here, and we're gonna go to the lowest one. Take these probes. You're gonna put one on this side and one on that side. Nope, because you're just testing resistance between those 2 points. Okay, so this primary resistance here, you can see falls to 0. Oops. We should be getting at least 0.75, 0.80, something like that. And I can get some resistance by moving this around, but when I settle it and it falls to 0, which I think means that coil is bad. Alright, well Caitlin gets the carburetor off of there. I'm going to go ahead and clean up the points on this and clean the cap out as well. Looks like our coil's ohm testing at 0, which is I'm pretty sure that's an impossibility in physics terms. Physics? I don't know. Whatever area of study would indicate what something can or can't do electronically. I'm pretty sure that's an impossibility. Fire department seems to be coming into our backyard, which would be interesting since there's a river back there. How in the world is that tight? Oh, because there's a third bolt on the back. Pull that plastic hose off of there.
What?
I'm gonna let that set for all night.
So, where are we?
Well, we need fuel,
Carburetor stuck.
we need spark,
Coil's bad.
we need compression.
Starter won't start.
Guess we don't know if we have compression if we can't get the motor to turn over with the starter. So we'll get that carburetor cleaned up tomorrow, and coil. Got a coil ordered. We're gonna pick one up in the morning. We are at what you would call a standstill. All right, starter is back in. What we're gonna do now is find a good ground. I'm not sure that we're getting a good ground. So we cleaned up the surface of the mounting surface of the starter and the mounting surface on the bell housing. Got it?
Got it.
Great. Got it grounded on one of those stud posts on the carburetor base on the intake there, so. Still just popping and locking up. Which makes me think that the motor is just too tight. I don't know what we could do differently, but if we can't get a starter to spin it over, we can't start it.
Well, duh.
I'm gonna have to think about this for a minute. All right, guys, we're gonna have to pull the heads and see why this thing is so tight. I don't know if there's a rust ring that we can clean up, or if there's something hanging up we can clear, but we're gonna pull the heads anyway. So, Caitlin, go ahead and run those. Guys, we got all the head studs off on this side, but this external oil filter is getting us hung up here because there's a hard line goes down to the back of the motor there, so we're having to where'd I go? We're having to undo this hard line here, and I just want to say again, it's really nice working on something that's not rusted up. I put a wrench on this thing and turned it, and it just let go. Well, we're down to the last head bolt here, and it is up against the firewall. So hold on, Caitlin, we're gonna have to clearance the firewall. Just stop what you're doing. It's not gonna come out. So this is originally a 21 bolt head on this motor. When the motor was replaced with an 8BA that's in here now, the back bolt there was not in the same location, and that means they put the motor in and the heads were never taken off because that firewall's never been clearanced. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. Now it'll come out with the head. Grab it up here by that temp sensor and by the neck of the thermostat housing. Oh, didn't even need to pop. All right. So go ahead and pick it off. We have one or two of these that are still holding on.
Oh, what's this?
No, it's this one right here. It's not out all the way. And this one down here, not out all the way.
This was on my side.
Alright, try it now. Get the back.
Okay.
We still have a wire connected here. Alright guys, here it is. First head off. Honestly, it doesn't look bad. Does not look bad. So I'm not seeing a bunch of corrosion. In fact, the cylinder walls look amazing. This one's got a little bit of junk in it, but I think that fell in from up top here. And you can see it doesn't look like the valves have ever been changed. The intake valves had Ford written on them, and the exhaust valves, yeah, because these two center ones share the same exhaust port here. It looks like this intake doesn't have Ford on it, so that valve might have been changed once. All in all, I'm liking what I'm seeing. We're going to go ahead and get a rag and clean those up. Caitlin, show me the bottom side of that. Alright. Water jackets are pretty gross. Pretty bad. But I'm thinking this is going to clean up pretty well, guys. And for that, I'm pretty thankful. Ooh. A little bit of water that didn't drain out of that side.
That's not water.
Well, it's cool, which is water.
Oh.
We gotta cut this cable. Give me the pair of dikes. Those red handled dikes. What does that look like?
Same as the other side.
Honestly, it looks like it just ran yesterday. Like, it's insane that it looks that way, but it does. Guys, if you're wondering, there's two different length bolts here. Two different length bolts. The short ones all go along the bottom. Really good, and the head gasket is right there. We should be able to just polish this rust off and put it back on there. Man, guys, honestly, it looks like it ran yesterday. I'm not even kidding when I say that. There's a little bit of junk that, like you can see here, it fell in. I think I think that what's in that cylinder is just from this crap that came from the top here. But
Unbelievable. I'm guessing I turn this off now.
all right, Caitlin's gonna turn this motor over by hand. We're gonna watch. Keep going. Well, here's the deal, guys. We threw the heads back on just to cover it up for the night. Put just 2 bolts in to hang it. I think we've got a starter that will spin when there's no resistance, but it's just not strong enough to turn the motor over. And so we can see those cylinder walls are not what's hanging this thing up. So I don't know what else could be keeping it tight. I don't think it's that tight. We'll be back tomorrow. Guys, Caitlin's out today. She had a first volleyball game last night. Did a sleepover with some friends, so came out here this morning just to kind of tinker on this thing and try and figure out what's going on. And I noticed that this is tight again. Like, real tight. And I also noticed, even with putting a bar back on it, which we've been using the bar out of convenience because it's easier than rubbing the back of the skin off your knuckles on that fan blade. But I noticed with using the bar, see if you can hear this down here. Can you hear this? Put you right down here. Sounds like there's something in the bottom end that's tight, and I don't know what that could be other than the main bearings being dry. I mean, it has sat for 48 years, and there's no way to like prime this with a pump, get the oil pump spinning like you can on some of the GM vehicles, Ford vehicles. Pull the distributor, you know, and you run the oil pump. The oil pump is actually back here below this. So I'm beginning to think about how I could prime this, and maybe priming it and getting those mains oiled would be an effective option. And I'm thinking that this return line for the oil filter, the external oil filter, I wonder if I could hook something up here and pump oil backwards through that and get anywhere. So I'm thinking about that. That might be a harebrained idea, but I was convinced yesterday that my starter was not strong enough to make it turn. Now I'm thinking that the motor's tight. Maybe a main bearing spun or something. I don't know. You're figuring it out with us. That's what he goes. Well, unless there's a few of you out there that already have this thing figured out and know what I don't know and what I'm missing, in which case just leave us a comment down there telling me how dumb I've been for the last 3 days of my life. This is time consuming. This YouTube stuff, it's not just point, shoot, and do something. There's a lot to it on the back end of this, and it's part of the reason it's taken us 20 plus days to get a video out. Had almost 3 weeks where I was doing nothing on any of these projects because I was traveling for work out of town for 2 weeks, and then took a week of vacation. But the week of vacation was to be here at the house because I had a honey-do list that was longer than a night in county jail. But I got stuff done. I got the garage painted. I got a toilet that was not working for like the last 8 months working. Got 2 egress windows cut in the basement foundation walls and installed. I got a couple of electrical problems fixed in the house, light fixtures replaced, new switches installed. Yeah, oh, I mowed the lawn. You know, do that every week. In fact, I might do that today since it's a nice day and Caitlin's not here. All I'm saying is I had stuff to do. I knew it needed to get done. It wasn't going to get done unless I took time off of work to do it. And it kind of stinks that taking vacation time was what was needed to get things done at the house that I've been avoiding because of work and the YouTube. This has honestly taken a lot of evenings that I would otherwise be doing stuff in the house. Been out here in the garage with Caitlin, which I don't regret. It's just an explanation of what's been going on. So that's where we're at. Haven't even had that thing out of the garage this summer except for a car show we did back in June. Kind of missed driving that. I don't know. Probably never get out of here again. Caitlin's checking her tomatoes over there. So we've got a quart of Marvel Mystery Oil and 2 quarts of 530 mixed up in this big jug. We're going to use this hand pump to run it backwards down this line, and we're going to try and fill the oil galleys. I guess that's our best attempt at a pre-lube. Been watching some stuff on YouTube, which is, hey, a great place to learn things. Not on this channel necessarily. This is all trial and error, not, hey, I actually know what's happening. Let me tell you how to fix this. Anyways, here's what we're doing. So Caitlin, come and run this pump. 2 hands, don't spill it. And you're just gonna have to hold it against the lip. There we go. Hold on. We're gonna try and pump about a quart. Hey, easy. Try and pump about a quart into here. Let me see. At the back of this jug, I should have checked. Should have checked where we were to begin with. Well, I guess we could do math. 16 ounces. What's 16 ounces? Is that the same as 946 milliliters? I don't think so. About a half quart. So we've started about 2.5 quarts.
It smells so good.
Yeah, that Marvel Mystery Oil. It's a mystery
like a
as to why it
between,
smells
like,
so good.
Cinnamon, bird poop, and like Bondo.
Cinnamon, bird poop, and what?
Bondo. It smells a little cinnamony. It smells a little poopy.
A little cinnamon and a little poopy. That's how I feel after Christmas dinner. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. If I put sriracha sauce in my ramen, would it improve the flavor? The answer is obviously yes. But you may also be thinking, is this going to work? Trying to pre-oil this way. And the truth of the matter is, I don't have any explanation for why this thing won't turn over other than the bottom end is tight, which means that the main bearings must be dry or totally spun, in which case we're gonna do more damage by starting it. But hey, it'll be good content for YouTube. Why don't you hold it by the side so you don't have to put your elbow to the moon? There's a handle, literally a handle on the side. Oh my. Caitlin, just cover it up. Basically pump it till it's empty, and then we'll put the little bit that's left in that big 4-quart jug in there, and we'll pump that all in too. While she's pumping that, I'm gonna turn the engine over and see if any of this is moving. I'm still hearing a little bit of creaking, dragging, I don't know what it is. Boy, that's still tight. Guys, we've checked to make sure that we're not turning this over with the PTO engaged or with the thing in gear, and it's just tight. I don't understand it. But we're gonna let that oil sit. We've put it through there. Hopefully it's gotten, 2.5 quarts should fill the oil galleys. So hopefully they're full. The pump should be primed. I guess the next thing to do is let it sit and take a look at the carburetor. So we're going to do that.
Open it.
Yeah. Did it pop?
Yes.
It's already popped now. Just need to do it. So this chem tool stuff should have gotten in there. And all the, you don't have to break it, just pick it up. Here.
Oh, it might smell worse.
Well, it didn't smell good to begin with. And this stuff will stain, so it might be good to
We're getting rid of this bed anyways.
put on a
Oh.
might be good to put on a pair of gloves.
Can I pull it out?
Guys, I bought new gloves the other day and I wasn't paying attention to the size.
Uh-huh. They fit me now.
Yeah, great.
They're all left-handed.
Okay, well, our GoPro died again because it's the most worthless camera on the market, if anybody is curious. This is all the junk that came out of there. So spray that one more time, Caitlin. Spray
On the
inside
wrong
of there.
hand.
Let's see if we can get this throttle body to move here. I'll hold this, you do that. A little bit of movement out of it. And then spray this whole rail down. There you go. Stand it up so it sits in there. That's good.
Huh.
There we go.
Look at all that gunk. Look at all these bubbles.
Hold on, open it up.
Bubble.
Oh boy. Guys.
Where's that?
Hold on. Hold on. Let me look at it before you do that. Just get out of the way.
Well, here's the outside. You can see the outside.
That is filthy.
Okay. So.
Okay guys, we were looking at this carburetor here trying to figure it out, and I know there's different style of Stromberg carburetors, sizes, styles, whatever. And my understanding is from looking at the internet there should be something stamped in here, but I don't see anything stamped on this except for this 1 1/16. This ECG right here on the side, and
Ford.
where is it? Ford right there, and the Ford F. Otherwise, there doesn't seem to be any stamping on here anywhere. So somebody help us out. Tell us what size carburetor we got here, because we're gonna have to rebuild it, and I don't know what size rebuild kit we're gonna have to get. So I don't know if this is a 97 or a 48 or an 81, but it is nasty, and we're gonna soak it one more time to get that. Now that we've got it opening here, we're gonna soak it good one more time. Well guys, I got a little update here on the carburetor. So after some more investigation, it looks like this is actually a Holley 94 carburetor. Similar styling to the Stromberg, but the absence of any numeric impressions or castings, and the presence of the Ford script in the casting is apparently a dead giveaway. So now we know what we've got. We're gonna get this cleaned up, put the heads back on, slap the carburetor back in there, new coil. We're gonna see if this thing will run or if it's going to the scrapyard for junk. I don't know what we're gonna do with it.
Bucket
We'll see.
blew up on me.
I heard that.
Hey, what was that?
Well, guys, we're gonna take whatever they'll give us for here at the Cash for Scrap Yard. We're just kidding, guys. We're just scrapping the bed. Well, Caitlin, we didn't get the flathead started, but this reminds me of what Paul said in Philippians 4:11, that he learned the secret to being content in any and every situation. And that contentedness comes from knowing that Christ is still in control. Our plans may not have happened the way we wanted them to happen, but life is still good, and we got nothing to complain about. So, lesson learned. Eventually, that thing's going to get rebuilt and started. Well, guys, you've successfully made it this far, which means you now understand everything we understand, which is the motor was too tight to turn over with the starter, and this thing was locked up tighter than a Texas coonhound with the neighbor's poodle in heat. We just couldn't make it happen. So we've been needing to scrap that bed off of here. It was going to have to happen at some point, so we decided we'd make that the end of this week's video. I hope you've enjoyed what you watched. If you have, make sure to like, share, subscribe, comment, tell a friend, write a note to your grandma. I'm sure she'd love the channel. Make sure she knows about it. And join us next time back here at Crossthread Garage and Salvage. Anything to add, Caitlin? I love my dad. So sweet.
I will catch you up to speed. You didn't start it. You're now up to speed.